Let us talk about India colony, which was composed of 3 people, and it developed into 4 countries. When India was a colony of Britain, it contained the following 3 countries. 1. India. 2. Pakistan. 3. Bangladesh. India, when it was a colony, before it became independent in 1948, it had so many tribes, but they used to associate themselves more with their religion. For example, a Luo Muslim associates himself very closely with a Luhya Muslim. The same way, a Luo Christian associates himself more with the Luo Christian. So you find that unlike in Africa, where Luhyas may fight Luos and vice versa, in that place people fight along religious lines. It is very hard to find an Indian telling you, I belong to this tribe or this tribe, but he'll tell you, I belong to this religion and whatever. The majority were Hindus, over 90%. Then over 9% were Muslims, and around 1% were Goans. Goans are normal Indians, but they are found in a region called Goa. Goa, when Vasco da Gama left Malindi and went and colonized a section of India, when he colonized a section of India, Portuguese and Christianity, especially Catholic, dominated the area. And that is why you find Indians from Goa have Portuguese names and they are Catholics. We have names such as D'Souza, or even the first political assassin in Kenya was called Gama Pinto. Gama Pinto, he was a namesake of Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama, and then Gama Pinto. So they are in a very small area called Goa, and those who come from there are called Goans. The only difference they have is that they are Christians and especially Catholic. Now, when India became independent in 1963, when India became independent, Kenya is the one which became independent in 1963, but India became independent in 1948. When India became independent in 1948, there was tension between different religions. Goans were very few, they could not account for anything. But then it was decided that if you are a Hindu and you are found in the northeast or northwest, you are told to migrate southwards. And if you are Muslim and you are in the south, you'd be told to go to whether you chose to go to northwest or northeast. So when that movement happened in 1948, those people who went to the northeast and northwest, they formed a new country called Pakistan. Pakistan, you may have noticed that in Asian countries, there is a lot of stan. There is Pakistan, there is Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, the Afghanistan, so many. And in fact, that we are going to have a Kwatengestan, which means Pakistan is the Tan means place of people. So Pakistan is the place for Paki. Afghanistan is a place for Afghans. Uzbekistan stands for Uzbeks, and so on and so forth. So Muslims went up both to the northeast and to the northwest and started a country called Pakistan. It's just like in Kenya, if we have Muslims, Then we take Muslims to Mandera, and we take other Muslims to Turkana. So the two countries, the two areas of Turkana and Mandera are called Pakistan. And that is how Pakistan was found. And the one which was towards the east was called East Pakistan, and the one towards the west became West Pakistan. That was in 1948. But it happened that for 25 years, between 1948 and 1972, all developments, people from West Pakistan and people from East Pakistan equally paid taxes. But when it came to positions in government, they were giving people from West Pakistan. And when it came to development, the government collects the government collects $4 billion. Then $3 billion develop West Pakistan. $1 billion develops East Pakistan. And in their language, but don't take that one to bank unless you are taking it to the river bank. In their language, Bangladesh means kichochoro, kijiji, slums. So these people from East Pakistan started saying, sisi ni, we are Bangladesh. We are people from slums. Sisi ni watu wa vijiji. So Bangladesh, to me, comes from the word slums. So they started saying that, and in 1972, they rose up and started their own country, where they even called it Bangladesh. So between 1950 and 1980, everywhere you went, where there were slums. Now, if you want to compare, it's like staying in Buruburu and also staying in Kibera. So you can compare the two. I'm only giving an example which Kenyans will understand. So these people, they equated slums with Bangladesh. And so that name was exported to all over the world. Each and every place in the world which was a slum was called Bangladesh. In Wajir, northeastern Kenya, the colonial government constructed houses for police quarters. And then in the mid-60s, the Kenyatta government constructed new and better houses. So you go to Wajir police quarters, you'll find that the houses towards the west are called Bangladesh. I don't know whether they are still there. And towards the east were called police line. But then they say, when you are new, or if you don't bribe the sergeant major, you are allocated a house in the Bangladesh. So that is how everywhere in the country, in the world, slums got a name Bangladesh. Now, in Mombasa, they became a slum, and since it was a slum, a poor slum, it was called Bangladesh. I'm finishing off by telling you about Bangla Pesa. We had a case about Bangla Pesa. So these people in Bangladesh were so poor and they didn't get money, or if you have money, it is, for example, I work for you and you are supposed to give me 13 shillings. How can you give me 13 shillings? So somebody, I think he was a preacher, he came up with not coins, but something like banknotes. He called them Bangla Pesa. Pesa is money in English. So Bangla Pesa means money for Bangladesh. And people started using it in that it divided. And even the 1,000 shillings note you have, or 500 or 20 or even whatever, not 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000. The money you have is just paper. It is only that if I work for you and we agree you pay me so much and you give me, I can refuse. It's just like Rwandese franca, amafaranga. If you are to buy something in New York, they will refuse to sell you. They will not recognize that. But if you go to Bujumbura and you want to buy things using the American dollars, they'll rush and take the money from you. So this note we use is just something that we have in trust. So this fellow brought Bangla Pesa in Bangladesh village in Mombasa, where those people, you move out of that village, that money becomes useless. So it is actually a banknote is a promissory money. Say, supposing you work for me and I give you a piece of paper and tell a shopkeeper, can you give him, can you sell things to him worth 300 shillings, I'll pay you. You see, if the trader believes in both the bearer and the writer, then that money is equivalent to what he has. That paper is equivalent to that. So even the papers you carry is equivalent to that. It is equivalent. Just like nowadays we have paperless transaction. It is that you just send something like M-Pesa to somebody saying that you have received 100, and then he goes to a supermarket, buys things, and then a message tells him whatever. These things work in trust. So Bangla Pesa came as paper which replaced money, and of course it is money, and it was equivalent to that. And I think the person who started, who was a priest or something, he was arrested and taken to court, but he was silently told, the case was silently released, so that they don't, you know, people from slums are voters. So it was just diplomatically withdrawn, and when it was diplomatically withdrawn, it was taken and made, it was silently withdrawn, and it was taken, and the people are told to revert back to the Kenyan money. That, in so many words, is about how India developed into three countries, the country of Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India itself, and I've even explained why we even had Bangla Pesa or Bangladesh money in Mombasa. Thank you.